Um, Eddie, thanks for joining us. I thought I'd just start by sort of getting you to describe your role and what you sort of do day to day, because assistant head coach is sort of um, I don't know if we all know exactly what that entails. So, what does a day look like in your life?
Yeah, I think the word assistant describes it very well. So it's basically you're here really to assist Daniel because he's really yeah 24 hours. It feels like he's busy in all areas, and this is what you do. So you are there for him each and every topic in each and every situation where he needs you and try to give him some support. Of course, the main thing is the yeah daily work on the pitch with the players. That's the main thing that I have to do is discussing sessions with of the coaching staff, preparing the sessions outside, working with the lads outside. Sometimes Daniel wants to get involved. So not sometimes, he always wants to get involved. He's not the kind of coach who just stands outside and observes. He's quite often very involved, but also he has sessions where he wants to observe more, and this is where I take part more in the sessions when they observe, and that's up quite often. Then he steps in if he sees some things and try to influence the idea that how we want to play and what we want to do.
Is that your sort of being out on the grass? Is that your favorite bit of the job?
Yeah, absolutely. So I totally enjoy. So I totally enjoy that I can work more in the background and focusing more on the footballing part. All the media stuff coming around. So I'm not very much involved with this situation. So I'm glad and happy to have the part that I'm doing on the pitch. Really, this is the main part, and I'm really enjoying it. Yes.
So just taking you back, I know you were born in Kazakhstan and
Yeah.
grew up there a little bit. Was did you fall in love with football there, or was it once you'd moved to Germany?
Oh, not at all. In Kazakhstan, it was more about volleyball in the winter because you've got minus 30 degree or whatever, and also ice hockey outside frozen lake on to play ice hockey. I really came into football when I moved to Germany. I was 9 years old, and this is where I lived in a small village, and the only thing you could do it was probably just to play football, and this is what we did after school till the sun goes down, and this is how I really felt in love to the sport. So
Were you?
quite late, you have to say. I was 9 already.
Yeah, I was going to say, were you sort of behind your peers a little bit, because to start playing when you're sort of 9 or 10 and then to become a professional, that's pretty extraordinary, when probably people, professionals at the moment are starting when they're sort of 6 and 7. Were you behind your peers at that point when you sort of started playing football?
Yeah, I believe you need to be unbelievable talented to do it that late. No, but no, it was more like I never thought about to become a professional, whatever. So I have to say I played more League One, League Two level,
Yeah.
so semi-professional, professional level in my career, and yeah, but it was were also different times. You've been playing more like not sure what it happens today. You had probably in the village 2 sessions a week, and then you just meet before and after school really and played for 8 and 9 hours with the lads together on the pitch and just enjoyed yourself. And this is how it progressed and came to it. So I don't know. So maybe there was a little bit of talent as well.
Yeah, and fast forwarding a little bit, you obviously end up at Lippstadt. That's where you met Daniel, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. I knew him before, not personally, but because he lived in the same village, same city, and yeah, he was a professional player, so you know his name. He was slightly older than me, and yeah, this is when he started his coaching career. I think it was the second season, and he had to recruit really under difficult circumstances players, and I was out of contract. I was injured a lot, and yeah, this is where I met him and where he signed me, and yeah, never looking back from this point, to be fair.
Was it difficult for you to give up playing and go into coaching? Was that a difficult decision, or were you sort of ready to? Because you were quite young at the time, weren't you?
Yeah, I was 29, I think, when I stopped playing. Yeah, I felt like I was at my best at this time, to be fair, in terms of playing. But equally, I was studying. I finished with studying. Then you think about, okay, it's not like you become unbelievable successful with 29 and will win the league in Germany or whatever. So you have to make a choice. And yeah, it was a slight smooth transition, I would say, because I was an assistant coach and was also a player. So at the beginning, so I had really a good transition. So I could get used to it, and even in Dortmund, I participated in some sessions. Sometimes you pop in, and was a great transition, to be fair. But it's not like I miss it unbelievable much. At times we play some stuff football. I think it's enough for me at the moment.
So when Daniel says to you, obviously you're at Dortmund with the second team. When he says to you, he's going to Norwich. Did you know anything about the club? Had you even heard of the club when he asked you to go with him?
I heard about the club. That I knew that the club was in the Premier League, but nothing in particular. To be fair, then you get your information, your background information, and see the potential and how great this club is and how great the club could be. Then we've been here around as well, had a look in the city, and it felt right from the very beginning. To be fair.
So did you have to put a lot of trust in Daniel when he tells you, we're gonna move and we're gonna go to a team in the second division in England, or was that was that obviously it was quite a big step up in terms of the almost the level, because Dortmund were in the fourth division, but obviously the size of the club, it was quite a large step down from Dortmund to Norwich. Did you just have to put a lot of your faith in Daniel and him telling you that it was the right decision?
Yeah, to be fair, I knew straight away that everything that he's doing, he thinks really well and well thought after it. So it was also after the first week, I have to say, back in the times when he signed me, I knew that this guy knows what he wants to do, that he has a clear idea. And to be fair, it was also an open discussion. We discussed it a lot as well, what to do, what the next step is, how it feels like to go abroad. It was really the beginning. You didn't thought about it, but when the offer came in, the interest was there, and you met the people here and the club, it was straightforward, to be fair. It was not like that they've been nervous, whatever. It's more like, of course, you've got a lot of respect to go from a second team and more in youth football under 23s to a professional club who wants to be a Premier League club. So of course it's a big, massive step, and also in terms of a foreign language, can you transform? Can you submit your really message? Because in coaching, it's also important for Daniel as well, in terms of reading in between the lines, using the language as well. But I think it works quite well.
Just wanted to touch on while you're at Dortmund, it's sort of a perfect time to talk about Thomas Tuchel. He's obviously just got through to the Champions League final. Did you speak to him a lot? Did you come across him a lot when you were at Dortmund?
I wouldn't say it was a lot, and I think Daniel was more in touch with him. But you've had quite often also match day +1 sessions where they requested several players. It's more like then they set up a team and they're playing against our players, and this is where you came in touch with him as well. Yes, and it's a great guy. It's unbelievable, professional, detailed guy. There's also a lot involved in the training sessions, not just observing. It's a clear idea. There are some similarities, definitely, also in terms of how he wants to play, and similar to Daniel, he seems to get always the best out of his teams.
Yeah, I'm sure you and Daniel and the rest of the team sort of learned a lot from him. Just give us a little bit of insight what it's actually like working with Daniel Farke. What is he like as a person, and what's he like professionally?
Oh, I can't tell you. I would risk the sack. No, it's obviously like I've already said. So I took the decision really to go into full-time coaching. I wouldn't have done it without him, I think, because he was the main reason, because I trusted him as a player. I buy fully in the idea of football he has, the guy he is, the character he is, also the effect he has on the team. You feel it. I don't think he changed a lot during the last years. He's still the same guy. He's true to himself. He doesn't change. He has his clear ideas, but it's always an open discussion with him. He always is taking opinions, and then he's getting the things out of it. And if he thinks that it's a good opinion, he will take the things and he will change things. So this is all about, if you're an assistant coach, you want also that your voice is sometimes being heard and considered. And this is what happens here. It's always an open conversation. It's always a joy to watch with him, to work with him. Sorry.
Yeah, you also mentioned the style of play. Tactics is something I'm quite interested in personally. And I just wanted to ask, what's the thing you've had to change most since you came to Norwich? What's the thing, when in 2017 when you sort of set out the ideal way of playing? Has there been anything that you've really needed to change from that style of play and from the tactical setup?
From the tactical setup, no. I think basically players, to be fair, former players, some visited our games here in Norwich, so they all watch the games and say, oh, I can see our idea, a little bit of something of our idea 5 years ago, how we wanted to play. And I think the idea remains the same. It was clear, and we believed straight away that it works in each and every country. Of course, you have to adapt. Sometimes you need to be more physical in certain areas. You have to adapt to the direct style, especially in the championship. Of course, you do with little things, but the main idea, I don't think it changed too much. We didn't have to adapt too much.
Is that something you work on a lot at the training ground, tactics and things like that?
Yeah, you meet at the beginning of the week. You watch which kind of the position you're going to meet, and then you discuss the sessions, and you've got topics. You've got always, to be fair, our training is quite often set up on our idea of football. So I would say it's 70-80% how we want to play, and of course then you pick exercises and you emphasize within the exercises the main topics, what you need to. If you need to counter press, you can do the same exercise, and then you can focus more on this topic against the ball, transition moments, or with the ball. So this is how you do it basically, and then you discuss it for each and every session, each and every morning.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Prepare them in the best possible way.
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, what's this sort of well, I don't know, you might not remember it, but do you remember any sort of situation where it was a tactical thing that you did? I mean, you might not want to give any sort of secrets away, but was there any sort of tactical or strategical thing that you as coaches set up that really worked in a particular game that you were really proud of?
Yeah, I think Danny, and a really good example is the Wickham game away, for example. We struggled a little bit to create chances, and then it was more like normally we were quite fluent, really flexible, many changes, exchanges of position of our positions, and yeah, but sometimes you need to adapt. If the position is that narrow, that tight, that compact, it was more like to have just a good setup all across the pitch, and then Daniel changes to a back three, where you play then out of back three position with not that much rotation, and this is how we then scored the goals in the second half and won the game. I think it's a quite good example.
Well, it's obviously worked well this season. What is it like at Colney at the moment and in the changing room? What's the mood like with the players?
Yeah, they are all great lads, to be fair. Also, even the last season we had also a good dressing room, so they are all good guys. So, of course, and obviously we signed really some proper lads, really great guys, and yeah, the success helps as well. So it's a great dressing room, and it's really a joy at the moment to be there, to really pop into the training ground, and it's all stuff, to be fair. It starts with the groundkeepers, you coming and see them, have a chat with them, really in the canteen, the waitress, the chefs. So it's really like you feel home. So coming from abroad, also many players, they need this safe bubble, and I think many players feel really safe and well here. So even on days off, if you pop in, you see many players being around for lunch, for having a chat with players and stuff as well. I think it's a really yeah, it's a real family feeling.
Yeah, that's something that sort of a lot of people talk about when they talk about Norwich City. Has the focus? Are people already thinking about the Premier League and next season, or are you trying to sort of enjoy it now and then when you have the break, sort of switch focus then, or is your mind and also everybody else at Colney, has their mind already gone to next season and how they can do better than last time?
Yeah, especially after promotion and after winning the league, now it starts running up more to really prepare for the Premier League. Of course, at the background, of course, the sporting director, the analyst, the manager, of course, they're having already thoughts about the Premier League. We're thinking about the next year as well. So you can plan a little bit more now. Winning the league, of course, we still want to make it 99 points, but of course there is some planning with Cabret, also several meetings with the staff as well. So Stuart is also looking forward which details we can improve each and every time. So we've got a lot of meetings and of course preparing already for the Premier League as well.
Do you feel like you have something to prove? Obviously, it was quite disappointing last season what happened. So do you and the players and the rest of the coaches feel like you really have something to prove next season?
Yes, I think of course you feel like you want to prove that you belong here. So listen, starting here. So looking around here at the training ground, especially, you see how far this club came since we came in. So it's not just about the success, it's also the facilities and everything, the stuff, everything around, the atmosphere you've got around. It's not just being successful, it's also like as I've said, last year it was also a great area to be around. Also, you're not successful. It's always tough being on a bad run, losing many games. But really, the staff and the people around us, it felt always like we're sticking together, and it's a great place to be in. And of course, I think everybody, staff to players, wants to prove that we can do it better, that we can that we belong to the Premier League and to become established in the Premier League. That's the goal.